Captain by a hook with a red beard. Captain by a hook with a red beard.
Bam! Boom! Boom! Shakalaka. It's Monday. It's Monday. Super Bowl Sunday. Yesterday. Amazing Super Bowl game. Not too many people like the holding call to decide it at the end. However, I didn't mind it. Of course, I had the Chiefs. Not only did I have the Chiefs money line, I had the Chiefs to win by margin 1-6 plus a 375, which I gave out on Friday. So, ding! Also had Eagles first half. Those are the three bets that I rolled the hardest with. I was on the under. The game obviously went over the total. Also had Eagles first quarter. Had a bunch of not a bunch. I had I did Miles Sanders, Travis Kelce, Jalen Hurts, and Edwards-Helaire last week. All to score a touchdown in a parlay that got avoided because of Edwards-Helaire not playing. However, Sanders would have smoked it anyway, I believe. I don't think he got a touchdown. It was a good game though, man. Back and forth. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, unless you're going into the half up 10, you're really thinking that the Eagles got a chance to run away with it. I don't know. To me, Chiefs are getting the ball coming out that second half. I knew the game wasn't. I knew it ended close, man. I didn't know I'd win. How I won. I even thought for a second there, Chiefs are going to win by 7 or more, and I don't know. Turned out to be perfect for me, personally. That is a selfish way to look at it. However, I hope everybody enjoyed the Super Bowl in a whole. Amazing halftime performance. Honestly, I've never talked about the halftime performance. One of the best I've seen in the last decade. Rihanna killed it. I kept waiting for somebody else to come out. Because usually on these Super Bowl shows, they try to do the shock angle. Like, oh my God. I was thinking it was going to be Hov or Drake or somebody like, oh my gosh. Oh my God. Did she really bring out Drake? Oh my gosh. But she did it all by her lonesome. And she killed it, man. I respected it. I don't know. I'm not even the biggest Rihanna fan, but she was jamming last night. I didn't even think half of those songs. Like, I never put them with her. So it was dope that she kind of showed like, yeah, I am that, and I do this, and I got hits that I've been a part of that are huge. That's why I'm who the I am. That's why I'm on this stage, and I respected it. I loved it. Shout out to all my tails betters on the coin toss. I didn't bet it because I didn't want to sweat it, but tails never fails on every flip in my life. Honestly, kind of a funny story, kind of not a funny story. I wanted to bet it, not really wanted to bet it, but it was like 10 minutes before the tip off, and I was like, kick off, flip off. It was 520, something like that. And I looked at my girlfriend and I said, heads or tails? She said, heads. And I said, yeah, I ain't betting that. I ain't gonna bet heads and I ain't gonna bet against the girlfriend. So I just stayed away from it, landed on tails. She looked at me and said, you should have bet opposite. Maybe that should be my new a gambling rule. Ask the girlfriend and then bet opposite. I'm sure that'll go over very well if you guys know what I mean. However, with the Super Bowl ending, honestly, this might be one of the first NFL years that just don't even feel like, I don't know, don't feel real that it's come to a conclusion yesterday. Now, to many, probably 70% of sports media in the sports world, especially in the space that I am in sports gambling, it'll be hilarious to listen to the lack of depth on any sport outside of the NFL that these guys have knowledge on. I'm sure everybody will shift their focus to the madness immediately, followed by the NBA playoffs. That'll keep them busy. However, once baseball comes around, you know who you are. You start talking about draft and awards for next season on NFL because you literally have no idea what goes on in these summer months of gambling. So, I look forward to exploiting that the next 6 months. But if y'all been listening to this show, which I didn't even introduce yet, Captain by a Hook with the Red Beard, Rowan Donaghy, aka Rowan Dives. Yeah, we've been on the madness for about 3 weeks now. We've been on college hoops since the day it aired, first aired. I started this show on November 7th, which was the first day of collegiate basketball for a reason. Taking this season by storm, and by storm, we have taken it. Had a great weekend this weekend. Saturday, I was sitting on Kansas, -3.5, covered with ease. Alabama, -2.5. I had Alabama, -2. I had Alabama, -1.5. I just kept taking advantage of the fools betting Auburn and kept getting the number. I couldn't turn it down. Tore that game up. I was also sitting on this UConn Creighton over 143 Saturday, which was a stinker of an over game to bet. Knew it was not going to go over fairly early, 7-14, I believe, halfway through the first half. Never a good sign. Halftime, glimmer of hope. I think it was 29-31. But I never really had any real hope on that overhitting. Also took Baylor -2. I believe they won by 8. I've been doing some house renovations this weekend. Put up the counters. Bought a couch. This thing's really coming together nicely. I don't know why I said it like that. Been a dandy going through this whole process. Kansas, Bama over Baylor. I ended up taking Michigan first half, which won. Michigan -2.5 on the whole game. Lost. Indiana with the comeback, stealing a 1-point victory on the road against Michigan. Man, Michigan needed it. That would have been a huge win for Michigan. A lot of teams went down this weekend, though. Honestly, a lot of teams with a number by the name lost this weekend. I'd have to go back through and look. I wasn't prepared to go over that. It just hit me just now, talking about the weekend of college hoops. A lot of things got shaken up. I believe Arizona lost outright. Texas cleared it. Marquette cleared it. Providence lost to St. John's. This is just off the top of my head. North Carolina State cleared it. Pittsburgh cleared it. Man, I killed this weekend. If you roll with the hook this weekend, I got some happy text messages from some happy people who bet the numbers. Kentucky, I believe they lost outright to Georgia. Kansas won. Bama won. UConn lost to Creighton. Virginia beating Duke by 5 in overtime. Honestly, I didn't really look into it. I did see a lot of controversy around this game. Um, Something about a call that shouldn't have been made. I didn't even watch it. I saw it on social media. I didn't watch the game. I watched probably 5 minutes of that game before switching over to. Honestly, don't remember. I think that was after the Baylor game. I took a break, working on the house, came back. I don't know. I was in and out of sports this weekend. Honestly, um, I don't know what happened with USC. But then Sunday turns around. I'm wasting a lot of time here. I have some things to get to today. Sunday, Michigan State, the money line, plus 143. I took it twice because it looked that nice. I don't know how the heck I was able to get that. I was expecting Michigan State to be like a 3.5, 5.5 point favorite, not dog. Ran away with that money line. Michigan State wins by 20, I believe. 20. It might have been 14, but I believe they won by 20. Michigan State, man, they won by 21, holding Ohio State to 41 points. I'm going to get on Michigan State a little more in a minute, in depth. Those who know me, that's my real favorite team. And so there's a lot of bias on this statement, but nobody wants to see this team in the tournament, man. Nobody wants to see this team in the tournament. They're finally getting healthy, finally clicking, finally rolling. 2 or 3 players I've been waiting on all season are finally stepping it up. That's what I'm going to spend this Monday on. I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about some futures. A couple of teams I think we need to jump on right now before the gets any closer to March and the number disappears. Not that you could, you could have got a better number on all of these. Of course, at the beginning of the season. But I think now we're at a point where these numbers are on the fringe of disappearing. Just to go over that, I also had Purdue yesterday, who was up. I don't even know. They were so comfortably up. Like I was just checking in and out of it, doing the counters, checking the score. I wanted to get the counters done by the Super Bowl, so I worked on the counters from like 8:30 in the morning to like 2. Caught the end of the Michigan State game, which I didn't even need to watch. They was already up 20. And then I got back on the counters for a little bit. Went and got me something to eat. Took a little nap. Woke up in perfect time for the Super Bowl. Woke up at like 5:08. Placed another 5 bets that I already had. Just doubled down on some things I liked. And kept it pushing. All right. So check this out. Let me look at this real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 teams right now. If you want, you don't have to do this. There's some other teams I like, but I already got futures on them. I already got futures on a couple of these, but I just wanted to talk about it. Let me go back to this futures page. I have most of them in my best slip. I just want to make sure I'm not missing nobody. See, Alabama's plus 900 right now. I have them at plus 2,500 from November. So I'm not going to talk about Alabama. However, they are, I think they're the best team in the country, Alabama. I honestly do. I've been saying it for weeks, months on this show. Alabama's been my number 1 or 2 team in my top 10. But Alabama plus 900, it's all right. But the value is kind of lost there. Some other teams, though, right behind them that I think have a chance. You're looking at teams. This is one of the real ones. One of the hottest teams that nobody's talking about winning it all is Baylor. I love Baylor. They're plus 1,600 right now. Yes, I'm sure you could have got them at plus hella a month ago. But plus 1,600 right now to win the national championship. Baylor is a team that I've added to my list of teams that I have. I think I got it. Yeah. So bets that I have already before today on the season: West Virginia, Alabama, Providence, Syracuse, Michigan State, Michigan, and Florida. Those are all teams I have futures on winning the championship. Let's talk about some other teams. They're hot. They're rolling. They showed me what a champion needs, and they have it. Baylor plus 1600. Add them to your futures. Um, I love this. Also, I don't know how people feel about futures. Some people look for only value plays. Some people look for plays that probably gonna hit. I also love Baylor plus 400 to make the Final Four. So I mean, if you're only betting plus 2,000 or plus on futures, just stay away. Take long shots. Hopefully, some of them hit. I look for both. Give me some value, but give me something realistic, something with some substance, something that holds weight. Um, I have about 35 futures on this basketball season. I've given them all out on this show, so nothing is secret. I'm not going to go over them all right now. I mean, the first show I ever did on November 7th was me giving out literally 20 futures. So, and then I've had shows like I'm doing right now where I've given out a couple more futures here and there. I don't know why I feel like I got to explain everything I do on this show because I don't want people just jumping in and listening, say this their first time listening, and they don't understand this show's been running 66 days in a row now. I just want them to kind of understand and get a feel. Baylor though, love Baylor at plus 1600. They've shown me that they have everything. They have the defense, they have the shooting, they have the pace, the cohesiveness, the coach, the experience. Baylor has everything you need. Right under Baylor, plus 1500. UCLA, the mighty Bruins. I've been waiting to jump on them. They've been my favorite team to bet game to game. They're definitely one of the three teams I have with under the Final Four tier. If y'all remember the tiers I did about 3 weeks ago, Bama, Houston, and UCLA are my three favorite schools. So you can get UCLA right now at 1,500, 15 to 1, and then plus 350 to make the Final Four. I don't think it's going to get no better. I don't think it's going to get worse. It used to be better than this. It kind of fell a little bit in the last few weeks of just Pac-12 play. Conference play in general, man. You playing in a big conference, you're going to run into some 2 or 3 game lulls, if you will. So Baylor and UCLA, two teams I like. The other one out of the Pac-12, you're going to bet UCLA, you might as well bet Arizona at plus 1,400. The Wildcats who bear down. You see what I did there? Arizona's on a roll, and I think they're actually in the be getting the weirdest text messages sometimes. I don't know. Keep grinding, fellas. Ding. I don't even. Who are you? No, I'm playing. One of my best friends since I was 12. Just random. Arizona plus 1,400. How can you not? Right now, if you look at the favorites, you got Houston at 700, Purdue at 850, Alabama at 900, Kansas at 12, Tennessee at 12. Which honestly, outside of Alabama, I don't think any of these teams have what it takes to win a championship. Kansas, maybe, but Grady Dick is gonna have to step up and be their ace. Jalen Wilson needs to be the third or fourth option on this team. They need to play through Grady Dick and play through their big men and let Harris, the point guard, just kind of make some magic. Stop giving the ball to Wilson and letting him go one-on-one. I'm sick of seeing it. I'm sure your fans are sick of seeing it. He settles for long jumpers. Too much for my liking. Tennessee, I don't think they have the offense to do it. Purdue, don't. That's an old joke. Not even funny. I don't like Purdue that much. I don't believe in them. I don't think they even make a deep run in this tournament. Houston, I think they get to the Final Four and choke up as usual. Maybe this is the year they make it through. I don't know. Just don't know. I think it's going to be a random year in college hoops. This might be it's making up to be one of the best years in a bunch of years. Instead of just 3 or 4 teams that can win it, you're really looking at about 15 to 18 teams that have a chance at making a run. With all of the transfers and the experience going on and teaming up and going to different schools, anybody, and I mean anybody, can really beat anybody these days. Right behind them, you have teams like Indiana and Texas and Creighton, who are some of the favorites by the world to be sleepers. It's weird. They're not favorites, but they're the underdog favorites, if that makes sense. Texas, Indiana, and Creighton all getting a hoopla of noise in the futures market, all getting a hoopla of noise leading up to March, just about bracket busters and all the all the hoopla that they talk about when it comes to the madness. However, all three of these teams can make the Sweet 16. I give them that. I wouldn't be surprised if they make it further, but I wouldn't bet on it. Here's one team though at plus 3,000 right behind them, who I love out of the ACC. I think they're about to make me a knock on wood a bunch of money in my future on Virginia to win the ACC. Give me Virginia plus 3,000 to win the championship, man. I love this team. They put defense first, and this year they have one of the best offenses they've had in a while. Even better than when they won it in 2019. I think they got lucky that year. Only luck of the draw. Somehow Texas Tech makes it there and just lays a dud. So, I don't know. I would have said the same thing about Texas Tech though if they won. Somehow Virginia made it there. But Virginia, for sure. And now here's two long shots that I have to take. I don't know if y'all heard that. Apologize if y'all did. North Carolina plus 6,500. I know. This team does not deserve to even be in the tournament. Oh my God. I just realized I still got some Super Bowl stuff going on. You know it's Monday, baby. That's what happens. You wake up and get to it. You don't worry about what the bottom bar says on your show. It's Captain by a Hook with the red beard, Rowan Donaghy, a.k.a. Rowan Dobbs. I couldn't talk about futures without mentioning North Carolina, even though I disgusted by them. Right next to them is Miami. Love Miami. I don't know if they're worth betting on to win the championship, but I don't know. I got Florida, so I might as well put something on Miami. I didn't mean that because they're in Miami. I mean, Florida might not even make the tournament. And at least Miami will make the tournament. And they have the experience and the talent to make a deep run in the tournament. At least I'll be sitting on something with a paperweight on it, at least, if not some real weight. And then again, like I said, take this with caution. Michigan State, 125 to 1. Plus 12,500. If y'all don't understand what that means, put $100. You wanted 12,500 on Michigan State to win the national championship. Yes, I already have Michigan State to win the national championship ticket. However, I'm doubling down because I don't have this number. I got this early in the year. Like early in the year. I took this on December 30th. And I got them at plus 10,000. I guess that's the same as 12,000. But I want 12,500 numbers on this thing, baby. Give me Michigan State, man. Like I said, they're rickety rolling and ricking. They have one of the best defenses. I don't think anybody in the country wants to see them in a tournament. So their offense is starting to click. You're listening to Captain by a Hook with the red beard, Rowan Donaghy, a.k.a. Rowan Dives. About 2 weeks away from March. 3 weeks away from Selection Sunday. The tournament is a lot closer than people think. I know the Super Bowl is in it, and people are like, oh, let me start checking out what Kentucky and Kansas is doing over there in the Let me see what Duke and North Carolina are doing over there in the college hoops. You know, they check on the blue bloods. Country ass. Get out of here. We don't want you. Uh, Let me look at these conferences real quick, because like I said, we're coming down to the nitty gritty. Less than 6-7 games left for these teams on their schedule. Probably about 6 games left on everybody's schedule. Teams usually play about 2-3 games a week, so about 3 weeks left until conference championship week. Ooh, chaya, things are gonna. Man, I can't wait. I'm about to go get. I always get like 4 or 5 poster boards and just make a huge bracket, put it on the wall. Take TVs from every room in the house, put them in one room. Even though I already got 2 TVs in the living room, I want 4 or 5 TVs. I want to watch every game. I love the madness, man. This is what I live for. You're listening to Captain By a Hook with the red beard, Rowan Donaghy, a.k.a. Rowan Dobbs. Let me break down some of these brackets. Not brackets. Let me break down some of these conferences just to see what we're looking at. I'm not going to touch on it too long. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Tomorrow, I'll be breaking down the SEC in the Summit League, which is Alabama, Tennessee, Missouri, Kentucky, Arkansas, Auburn. I'll see if anybody else has made a run. Also going to talk about Oral Roberts in the Summit League. That'll be my Tuesday breakdown for the bracket. If you've been watching on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I've been doing in-depth, deep dives. Stuff that you can't get anywhere else on every team I believe will be in the tournament, so that by March 2nd, you should have all the information you need by just writing down the information I share. I put a lot of thought and work into it. Today, though, I want to touch on a few of these conferences. Like I said, I'm going to try not to keep it too long. We're already at 28 minutes. I have 1 or 2 picks for you tonight. Not too busy of a night. Haven't even turned my page. February 13th, maybe. Valentine's Day is tomorrow. If you don't have reservations, you're horrible. I have 2 reservations just in case. Give her 2 options. She don't know what to do with them. Nah, I'll probably cancel one today because we already talked about it and she's already made a decision. So that is awesome. In the American Athletic Conference, Houston, 11-1 in conference play, 23-2 overall, winners of 5 straight. A lot of people think only 2 teams are going to come out of this conference, Houston and Memphis, into the tournament. However, I'm looking at 2 teams. That's why I wanted to talk about it. I think 3 of these teams should make it. There's 4 teams who have a chance, but I think 3 should make it. Why shouldn't the Tulane, the Green Wave, who's 16-7, winners of 4 straight, 9-3 in conference play, have a chance to dance? Memphis is 9-3 in conference play, and they have a chance to dance. Hopefully Tulane can keep this win streak going, man. Hopefully they can get this 4-game win streak up to 7 or 8. Show some people what's am. Hopefully they can make a deep run into the American Athletic Conference. It would be a huge deal if Tulane could just even win. Not even win, just go to the finals of the American Conference. That school been through a lot since the early days in the scandals. I'm not going to talk about it, but they've had some great tournament wins in the early 90s. It'll be awesome if they can make it to the tournament this year and maybe go on a little run. You got Dayton of ECU and Fordham and St. Louis going at it in the Atlantic 10. In the ACC, finally, Virginia, who I took plus 700 before the season, first place at 11-3. Yes. Somehow Pittsburgh, who was, if you all remember, one of the worst teams in the conference last year, has a 5-game winning streak going. They are also 11-3 in conference play. You have to mention Miami. Winners of 4 straight, 11-4 in conference play. This ACC conference coming down to the wire, and Duke is not in the conversation. Neither is North Carolina. This is a turning point in this conference. Roy Williams leaves 2 years ago. Mike Krzyzewski leaves last season, and now this thing is wide the F open. Clemson, losers of 3 straight, have went from first to fourth. They went from 10-1 to 10-4. I don't know how, when, what, where, or why, but definitely getting. It's crazy, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 teams in the ACC that could make this tournament. Howbeit, only 7 might be 8 will be a stretch. 9 will definitely be a stretch. However, it's funny because the 8 and 9 team on the list is UNC and Syracuse, and the 7th team on the list will be Duke. All 3 of those teams are 8-6 in conference play. However, they're sitting right behind Wake Forest and North Carolina State, who are 10-5 and 9-6 respectively. Wake Forest, winners of 3 straight, coming on. Syracuse won 2 in a row. Let's see if they can get a roll going, man. Depressing to see Mike Brey down here at 2-12 in his last season at Notre Dame. Losers of 3 straight. In the Big 12, you have Texas taking a commanding lead, having a beautiful season. Them and Kansas are both 20-5. Texas 9-3 in conference play. Kansas 8-4 in conference play. However, Kansas won 2 in a row. But there's a team right behind them who I just talked about getting hot, getting cohesive, getting things on the right track. The Baylor Bears at 8-4 in conference play, 19-6, winners of 3 straight, right on the tails of both Kansas and Texas to win this regular season in the Big 12 outright. And then you have some teams like Kansas State, Iowa State, who got a lot of hype this year. But they're only 7-5 in conference play. Don't know how far the hype can take them. Here's a surprise. Winners of 5 straight, Oklahoma State, 7-5 as well. 5 straight. That means they were 2-5 in conference play before going on this little run. Who knows? Oklahoma State? Sleeper. I'm kidding. But I guarantee you somebody will talk about them. Oklahoma State winners of 5 straight, 11-2 at home. Maybe they are somebody to watch. You know me, wilding out in the Big East. Now this is a top-heavy conference. Probably will put 5 teams in the tournament. Marquette, Xavier, Creighton, Providence, Connecticut. On Thursday, I just broke down all of these teams in depth. Now, just looking at the conference, Marquette 12-3 atop the conference. Xavier 11-3 right behind them. And then Creighton, who was the favorite to win the Big East in the beginning, came out struggling. They've had a weird season. I said it Thursday. 6-0, 6-6, 9-6, 9-8. Now 19-6, 17-8. Now 17-8. Winners of 8 straight, 11-3 in conference play after being 3-3. 8 straight wins in the Big East, baby. That's hard to do. And they're not beating the bottom of the tiers. They just beat somebody. Beat UConn on Saturday. Like I said, it's hard to win 8 straight in Big East, and they've done it, putting them right back in the argument. Like, they might win the... I literally bet Marquette, Xavier, and Providence to kind of bet against Creighton and UConn. Like, as long as just one other team does it. But it looks like Creighton's like... I don't know what UConn doing at 8-7, but we right here at 11-3. Nobody cares about the Big Sky Conference. However, Eastern Washington, winners of 15 in a row. Starting out there. 13-0 in conference play. However, they only have a 3-game lead over Montana State. Montana! Eastern Washington, also one of the coolest logos in the sport. If you don't know what their logo looks like, give it a gander. Eastern Washington, 13-0 conference play, winners of 15 straight. And the Big South, Radford, UNC Asheville, Longwood, Gardner Webb, all going at it. Gardner Webb, winners of 7 straight. The only real surprise here, 15-11. Winners of 7 straight. They were on the struggle bus. Big Ten play, baby. This is what we came here for, ain't it? Big Ten, Purdue still with a commanding lead in the conference. 12-3 in conference play. Whew. I got a lot of futures that looking good in the Big Ten. I took 5 teams in all of them except for Purdue. I took 5 teams win total under 12.5. So it's looking good for a couple of them. Indiana are the surprise winners of 3 straight. Northwestern winners of 3 straight. Both of these teams taking down Purdue in back-to-back weekends. Illinois somehow in 4th place at 8-5. Maryland 8-6. Iowa, Rutgers, Michigan State, Michigan all at 8-6. It's crazy, man. It's gonna be like 89 teams from this conference in the tournament, and I don't know. It's a bad year for Big Ten, and when I say a bad year, it's a great year. They just don't have that. I don't know. Usually, all of these teams you think like Mike can make a run, but this year it's like it's a great year for them. But I don't know if they have that great team. Purdue would have to do it, or Indiana maybe, or Michigan State. Somebody just talked about Michigan State. Big West, who cares? UCSB and UC Irvine, 1 game apart in their Colonial Athletic. Charleston somehow got caught by Hofstra, who won 7 in a row. So Charleston, College of Charleston, had that long 20-something game win streak earlier in the year. Only 12-2 in conference play, and I say only. That is magnificent. However, Hofstra right behind them at 12-2. UNCW at 10-4, and Townsend at 9-4. Florida Atlantic 14-1 in conference play, 24-2 overall. This is a team I have a Final Four future on. Don't know why. Love them. Just gonna ride it out. Florida Atlantic, Horizon, Ivy, Princeton, Yale 7-3 and 7-3. Youngstown State and Milwaukee both 12-4 in the Horizon. Northern Kentucky and Cleveland State 11-5 in that one. Metro Atlantic, Iona, Rider, Siena. Top 2 11-3, Siena 11-4 right behind them. Rider, winners of 8 straight. Iona, winners of 5 straight. Shout out Ricky Rick. Patino. In the Mid-American, Kent State and Toledo 10-2. Toledo, winners of 9 straight. Ball State, winners of 5 straight, 9-3. Akron, 9-3. Akron was on a little roll and lost 2 in a row now. Mid-Eastern, almost done wrapping this up, and then I'll throw out my bets as quickly as possible for the night. I think I only have one of them. Winners of 7 straight, Howard, 7-1, 1-game lead over Norfolk State and Mid-Eastern. Maryland Eastern, I don't know, MD Eastern. Both of those 6-2. Missouri Valley, Drake 12-4, winners of 7 straight. Of Bradley, winners of 6 straight, 12-4 also. Then you have Southern Illinois, Indiana State, and Belmont, all 11-5, with Missouri State at 10-6. Indiana State also with a little streak, winners of 5 straight. Mount West, this is like my 3rd favorite conference this year behind the Pac-12 race, the Big Ten. Big Ten race really isn't, I don't know, Pac-12, Mount West, probably my 2 favorite races that I'm following, because anything can happen. San Diego State, 11-2, winners of 3 straight. Nevada, winners of 4 straight, 10-3. Boise State, 9-3. Utah State right behind them at 8-5. Hopefully all 4 of these teams can make it, man. New Mexico, after starting off as being ranked in one of the hottest teams in the country, dropping 3 straight winners. 6-6 conference record. I don't think they get into the tournament anymore. But hopefully these top four teams do. You get Utah State, Boise State, Nevada, and San Diego State. I mean, New Mexico can still finish strong, man. Let's just see how it plays out. I'm excited to see it. Um, I'm not even gonna talk about this conference. Nobody's ever heard of these teams. Morehead State, commanding league in Ohio Valley. The Pac-12, UCLA, 2 game win streak. No, 4 game win streak, 2 games up on Arizona at 12-2, sitting atop the Pac-12 conference. Arizona right behind them at 11-4, then Utah at 10-5. And then you have a little drop off. Arizona State, 18-8, winners of 2 straight, 9-6 in conference play. Also Oregon right behind them at 9-6. Who knows, man? The Pac-12, they might put 5 or 6 teams in there this season as well. Colgate, commanding league in the Patriot League, 13-1 conference record. In the SEC, the almighty Crimson Tide, Alabama still undefeated in conference play. I know, crazy. 12-0 in conference play. If this team can go 18-0, 20-0, whatever the heck it is, my God, I would love to witness it. Alabama, in my head, the best team in the country. 22-3 overall, winners of 4 straight, 12-0 in conference play. And I give you $1,000 if you can guess without looking who's second place in the SEC conference. I'll give you a second. I'll wait. Texas A&M. Texas A&M. Winners of 3 straight, 18-7 on the season. Not one single person, including me, has talked about this team. I've tweeted about them. I said if they don't make the tournament and North Carolina does, travesty. Burn the heck out of myself. Texas A&M 10-2 in the SEC, 18-7 on the season, 12-1 at home. Right behind them, a little drop off. You have Tennessee at 8-4, and then a flurry of teams: Missouri, Auburn, Kentucky at 7-5. Florida had a big game against somebody. I bet them. I took a future on them to win the championship, and then they lost 3 straight. Type it is that. Damn. LSU at 1-11, losers of 12 straight. They were 12-1. Now they're 12-13 on the season. Heartbreaking stuff. Southern, you have 3 teams in the Southern League. 3 teams tied at 12-2. 2 of these teams with a 4-game winning streak. The top dog with a 8-game winning streak. This is crazy stuff, people. It's college basketball. It's madness. You have Furman, Samford, and UNCG all 12-2. In the Southland, you have 2 teams also on a winning streak. You have Northwestern State and Texas A&M. Corpus Christi on a 6-game winning streak. Northwestern State on an 8-game winning streak. Both of them are 10-3 in conference play. A couple more. They're so close, all these conferences. I got to talk about them. Southwestern Athletic, Alcorn State 10-2. Grambling and Southern right behind them, both at 9-3. The Summit League, these are my dogs, winners of 10 straight. I have 2 future tickets on this team. One to win the Final Four, another one to win the Final Four, because I'd be hot ham if they win a championship. But I will bet them to win the Final Four twice, obviously. Oral Roberts, 14-0 in the conference, 14-0 at home. 23-4 overall, winners, again, of 10 straight. Oral Roberts, my Cinderella for the year. Just guessing. You never know what you never know. About a month away from the tournament actually starting. Oral Roberts. I like him. Sun Belt Conference. Southern Mississippi 12-2. Marshall, Louisiana Lafayette 10-4 behind them. There's a lot of hype around this Raging Cajun team as well. Louisiana Lafayette had a couple upset victories, I think in 92 or 96
in the tournament. Have to go back and look. But the Raging Cajuns in the West Coast League, of course, St. Mary's left the back door open for Gonzaga to either win it or tie them. 11-1 in conference record. St. Mary's, Gonzaga right behind them at 10-2. And the last conference, Western Athletic, Utah Valley, with a commanding lead over there. You're listening to Captain by a Hook with the red beard, Rowan Donaghy, a.k.a. Rowan Dives. I didn't think going over futures and breaking down some conferences would take this long, but I just love it. So I kind of get lost sometimes. Looking at tonight's games, off the top of my head, I have one bet that I placed last night, and that is Texas minus 3.5 over Texas Tech. You can get it right now at Texas minus 4 on the road against Texas Tech. I know. Trust me. I know. There's some locals out there in Texas like, oh, man. That boy betting Texas against Texas Tech? That boy don't even know. Now, I know. These teams go at it. Got a little history. But I also want to shout out to Texas interim coach. I'm going to get his name and give him a real shout out tomorrow to open the show. Love what he's doing at Texas. Y'all need to make him y'all full-time coach as soon as possible, or somebody else will. Love Texas tonight. Minus 3.5. You can get them at minus 4. I think it'll drop back to 3.5 by tip-off. Texas Tech at home. A lot of people not going to bet against them when Texas comes to town, but I will. West Virginia plus 6.5, taking on Baylor. I love Baylor in this game. I think the 6 is a little big. I'm going to stay away from this game and probably regret it. I think Baylor minus 6.5 should be the play, but I am staying away from this one. Texas is the only official play that I have for you guys tonight. Also, love Miami plus 4.5. However, North Carolina does scare me a little bit because this is what they do best. Right when you count them out, they go on a 7-game win streak and act like we're the ones that's crazy for telling them that they trash. So Miami plus 4.5. I'm going to stay away from it even though I love it. Miami's undefeated at home. We'll back Miami at home 100% of the time. On the road, I don't know. I'm staying away from it, man. Funny things can happen in this game. I think some funny things are going to happen tonight. Those are only 3 real big matchups going on tonight. I'm going to stay away from 2 of them. Like I said, I am on Texas minus 3.5. You listening to Captain by a Hook with the red beard, Rowan Donaghy, a.k.a. Rowan Dives. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for any kind of love you give this show, even if you just tell your mom about it. Please take all wagers with your own risk. And please, please gamble responsibly. Dobbs.